You can do like your stats one.
Hi everyone. After many requests on my last reactions video, here's my stats and ECs video that got me into Cornell. What else? Cornell, Rice, Georgia Tech for CS, and what else did I? Oh, Berkeley and Berkeley. So yeah.
NYU.
NYU. Well, I'm just not gonna listen. It's fine. Like those are like enough. Okay, so okay, so first off, let's talk about schools. So I attend actually two schools. One is like a governor's school in my area, and I just do this for like more advanced STEM courses. The graduating class for my gov school was 50 kids, and then the graduating class for my public high school was like 300-ish kids. So yeah, I attended like schools in Southwest Virginia. So like I think that shows they're not very rigorous. I think the only thing would be like I live near a college. I live in a college town. I live near Virginia Tech, so there was a little like leverage when it comes to like opportunities there. But I think that's pretty much it. So yeah. I think course rigor is a really important part of my application. I think course rigor is like an important part of like passing the bar of like just taking advanced courses. But this year I took a lot of math. I took multivariable, calculus, linear algebra, and then differential equations, as well as
Astro.
I took astronomy as well.
You can just put it on the screen as well.
Which is I'll put them on the screen right here. Okay. So next are my stats. Let's see. I took the SAT twice, and I only submitted one. So I took it twice. The first time I got a 1460. Let's see. It was 730 both for the split, and then the second time I got a 1550, and it was a 790 for math, and then a 760 for English. Oh, and I should mention. Oh, well, I don't think I submitted it. I think I should mention my major. Wait, actually, you guys probably know, but in case anyone like doesn't know, I applied for CS for almost all schools except for like stats for some as well. But like mostly, yeah, there was Enviro for 2 or 3, but it was mostly CS. So, yeah, and then what else for stats? So I took 9 AP exams my sophomore and junior year. And I submitted, I took 9, I submitted 7, usually, except for Stanford, MIT, and Caltech, which require all of your AP exam scores. So for those, I submitted all of them, but I took,
9.
let's see, I don't know, I'll put them right here, but it was mostly like, they honestly were not good. Like, I would not shoot for this. I think you could do better, but like, yeah. So, yeah. Okay, next are my honors and awards. Honestly, like, these aren't like a good part of my application. So like, this like, yeah. But so my first one, almost all of these were from like just research conferences that I did last year. From research I did. Actually, everything on this list is research, but it's split up because I had quite a few awards in like 1 or 2 like fairs. So yeah, but the first one is at my like regional science fair. I won the NOAA Research Award, which is like the National Oceanic whatever, like the NOAA Research Award, and then I also won this thing called the Mount Tabor Riverton Club Research Award. So those are my first 2, and then after that I got. I put down like, this is funny. So I put down, it's called the International Forum of Research Excellence Research Symposium, and the Virginia Junior Academy of Sciences VJAS conference abstract acceptances. And then I also put like, I was an award winner for like the VJAS 2025 awards, and I just didn't specify like what award I got because I didn't like my award, but like I did get an award, so I just said award winner. So yeah. And then the next one was I submitted to like a student-run publication journal for my research junior year, and then I started like acceptance for publication for the December issue. So yeah, that's my third award. And then after that, I put my like local school like science fair, like governor's school. I said that I got third place in environmental engineering. And then my last one, I put like the other regional fair I talked about. I said I got the National Weather Service Award, as well as a U.S. EPA Environmental Research Letter. So those are my awards. They're honestly not good. So yeah, but they got the job done, so it's fine. So next is activities. I basically ordered my activities in a way that like kind of resembled what I wanted to emphasize first of all, and then also like I organized them by category, and kind of like what they, because some of them like kind of naturally went together. So my first four, so my first four activities were all research, and then my fifth one was also like related to my research topic, but it wasn't actually research. So funny. Okay, so yeah, I think that was like one of my biggest spikes that I tried to engineer was like this kind of research focus on kind of what I was doing at the time. And for context, I did a research paper kind of looking at computational modeling of like temperature and like spatial structure of temperature, and also like how it related to like income inequality and these kinds of like factors and variables. So it was a very kind of like comp and stats focus, and so when I was applying for CS, that's what I focused on for my research. But okay, so the first activity was my junior year research paper, and I applied, I'm just gonna read out the descriptions. I applied Python and Bayesian inference to census and environmental data, and I quantified urban heat disparities, and then like a separate little thing, I like put manuscript accepted for publication in Curex. Let's see, and then there's hours there. And then the second thing was an internship. It was a statistics and research internship at my local college, Virginia Tech. And I said that because this is kind of a 2-year project for me, so I said I extended my prior study using R programming and Tidy Census, so it's just like an online program like for R. And then I analyzed census data and spatial autocorrelation, and then I put in like the tests that I use, which is like localized indicators of spatial association, which is LISA, and then Moron's I across like my key variables. And then my third thing was also research. I did if anyone knows what this is, I did the summer science program, SSP for astrophysics. And then so my description for this one was that I developed custom Python programs implementing method of Gauss and Monte Carlo uncertainty for asteroids, and then submitted my results to the Minor Planet Center. And so this is like kind of the activities that we do at SSP Astrophysics, but method of Gauss and Monte Carlo were just different stats like kind of things. So, and then like I hope you can see like throughout. All right, let me read the fourth thing. So my fourth activity was some volunteering I did for a research organization. It's called the Data Rescue Project, and I did I did research data access and preservation RDAP hackathons. And so my description for this one is that I captured and downloaded public environmental data sets and documented metadata during RDAP hackathons and independent. Sorry, it cut out, but so this is basically just like volunteering I did for a research organization, and I think that you can see like throughout all four like of my activities, it's like very concentrated on like research as well as like this specific research field that I'm interested in. So yeah. And then I think that my fifth activity also ties into this pretty well, because my fifth activity is like the summer governor's school that I did, and this was the summer between my sophomore and junior year, and I was also webmaster for my class. So basically I built program websites summarizing simulations, projects, and coursework, and presented this to students, parents, and faculty at like an inter-program seminar. And I took specifically, it was a webmaster, it was a Eyes in the Skies meteorology class. So it's like, again, kind of this intersection between computer science and environmental science. So yeah. Yes. Okay, so let's actually move on to like 6 through 10. These are a little more scattered. I would say 6 and 7 are like kind of similar, but they move to like a different topic. So my sixth activity was that I was the co-president of, I was the co-president of the Asian American Student Union club at my school. And so I was co-president with one other person, and the biggest thing I emphasized in this bullet was that we kind of worked with a nonprofit center called the Humpkin Center to try to push a dialogue on race initiative. and this is a and so I attended school board meetings to advocate for like a municipal-wide hate speech policy, and put some impact numbers. I said that it reached over 9,500 students because, it was like a county-wide policy that was implemented. So yeah, that's my sixth activity. And then my seventh activity kind of ties into this. I talked about being a quote-unquote know your rights leader and volunteer. And this is also with a similar nonprofit organization, but we basically received leadership training from this nonprofit to lead door-to-door outreach with ethnic businesses, and we were raising specifically immigrant rights awarenesses during ICE raids and all of the things that are going on in our country right now. It was kind of just to spread awareness regarding what rights immigrants have and non-immigrants have in terms of kind of confronting ICE officers and dealing with those kinds of situations. So, and then my eighth activity was it was robotics. It was on my robotics team, and I did this ninth and 10th grade. My friend is right here, and he knows that I did this shit on robotics, so he's appalled that I would put this here. But okay, yeah. So I was on both the outreach team, and I was trying to get on the coding team, but I didn't actually get on. But for this, I just tried to emphasize my outreach, and I said that I presented for the statewide Ken Telly Leadership Conference, and featuring over 50 schools. And this was a conference that was focused on cooperation and competition and leadership in STEM. And so I actually talked about this in my Cornell supplement, but I think it was really helpful in showing leadership in STEM spaces. And so that was 9th and 10th grade. And then my 9th activity was an internship I did in New York. It was with an electrical engineering company, and it was a 4-week paid internship in Rochester. And I kind of just said that it was a very technical, it was a very field work kind of internship. But I said that I assisted with load planning, wiring configuration, and troubleshooting. But anyway, so I just said that I worked with senior engineers in troubleshooting. And then my last activity was track and cross country. And I did this activity for all 4 years of my high school. I did it less my senior year because I was focused on college apps and everything, but in the activities I put varsity cross country and track athlete, and also lettered because I wasn't always varsity all 4 years, but there's this thing called lettered at my school, and it's kind of equivalent to varsity basically, so I put that. And then I said I placed 15th individually at the Great American XC Festival. This was my junior year. And then I also placed 3rd in the 4x8 relay at Region 4D for outdoor, and that was my sophomore year. And I have more awards that I could have put. I think it might be in my additional info, but yeah, that's my 10th activity. And I just wanted it to show kind of longevity of an activity that I've done all 4 years, and that I have commitment basically. So yeah, those are my activities. What else? Oh, actually, I also put some stuff in my additional info. Give me a second. Let me pull it up. So, the first thing I put in my additional info was that I had a a website portfolio that I coded on GitHub. And this was just kind of designing and maintaining a GitHub research portfolio, documenting independent work and then I give my research description. And then I said it included my full code, visualizations, and documentation for open access. And then I also put the link to my GitHub repository, right there. And then I also said that I put my server position. I worked at a restaurant for it's a year now, and I said that I worked at this restaurant for a year. And I also talked about implementing my Know Your Rights trainings in this restaurant, and talk more about that. Yeah, and then let's see, what else do I have? Is that it? That's kind of it. So yeah, those are my stats and ECs. Do you want to do yours?
Sure.
You do? Okay.
Yeah, you know what? Sure, I'll do mine.
I'm gonna bring in a friend right now, and this guy is I got into, I'm sure you guys might know, but I got into Cornell, Berkeley, Georgia Tech, Rice, and those are kind of the only ones I was really considering. But yeah, so I chose Georgia Tech, and if you guys want a video on why, I can definitely record that because it's definitely a different perspective. I think people usually choose prestige over other things, but I definitely have reasons for why I chose it. So if you guys want a video, like I can definitely record that. But yeah, and then this is my friend who's also going to Georgia Tech, but he also had some pretty interesting results. So he can also give them to you. Okay, wait,
I'm probably just gonna do like top 5 or like top 3.
So yeah, he can also give you his activities, and he's pretty cracked. So listen up, guys.
Okay.
They're better than mine. Okay.
Okay.
Give them the talk.
So I guess I start with my awards and ECs. So for my first award, I had 4th as a national STEM youth talk I did. So I gave a talk about youth prosthetics in like a digital conference I did, and I got 4th in the nation for that. But it's only like Korean Americans. And then for award 2, I also attended the same regional fair as him.
Yes, regional
and
fair.
I won the Yale Science and Engineering Award as the only junior. And then for my 3rd award, I talked about my state science fair. So I went to Virginia State Science Fair in my junior year, and I placed 2nd for robotics. So I talked about that. And then in my 4th award, I talked about a different conference, the Virginia Junior Academy of Science. And in that one, I placed 2nd for robotics again. And then for my final award, in sophomore year, our drone team qualified for Worlds. So we went to Houston, and our team actually qualified 8th internationally. So that was my 5th award.
Yay. He's like, he made it to state science fair. I didn't even make it to state science fair, so like, yeah. But it's awkward. Yeah. Activities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just run through like my top 5. I don't want to go through all of them.
Okay, he's gonna go to top 5.
Yeah. Okay, sure. So for my top one, I had a non-profit, as everyone does these days. So I trained like I live right next to VT, so I got like a bunch of students here, and I trained them on engineering education, and then I like got them as volunteers for my non-profit. And so we got like $1,000+, and then I like founded a non-profit in my local YMCA where we taught underprivileged students, giving them access to robotics. And we collaborated with like 8 or so organizations, and I hosted like lots of workshops. And then my 2nd award is also research. So I did independent research in my junior year, and I developed a new way to detect obstacles on Mars using ultrasonic sensors. And so that gives me 2 times conference presenter. And I won a couple other awards in my regional fair. So I talked about how I won like Genius Olympiad and like US Air Force awards. So I put that in my research stuff.
Wait, I didn't even know this. What the heck?
I know.
That's crazy.
Because I didn't have space in my awards area, so I put it in there.
Gosh, okay.
And then my 3rd one is robotics. I wasn't a bum like him. Well, no, that's not true. That's not true. I was a
No,
bum
he
too.
was.
I didn't even get the hours for the it's a
worked
class, and I didn't get the hours. But I mentored. So I just talked about how I mentored a bunch of students. We got like 10 awards. So that's like impact. We got impact 4 years in a row this year, including. So I talked about that. Engineering inspiration. We just got a bunch of awards. It's really free in our area because we're so rural.
Yeah, we're really rural.
Yeah,
so like,
I know.
There's
so
no competition.
Yeah, no comp. And then
Continue.
Okay. So I'm also the founder of the aerospace club at my school, and so I talked about how I was drive team and winner at internationals, which is the award I talked about earlier. I made like this velocity dampener. It just like catches golf balls, but it was like a completely new way to do it that did really well at comp. So I talked about how I invented that. 18+ members, 2.5k funding.
What the hell?
Yeah, I know. And then I talked about how I refunded this. We applied for a scholarship and we got like $2,000 from there, and then we got $500 this year as like as me as pres. And then this is just my 5th one. So I did like an internship at VT as well, using all my connections, I guess. And this was on prompt engineering and LLM tuning. And so I worked in the Tri-M lab, so mind, music, machine laboratory. And then we like work with 3 robots like Pepper, Milo, and Robot Dog, I think. And with that, we trained it on like humor types, and then we did like a small study on different peoples to see how we could prompt engineer or fine tune LLMs to be more funny.
That's
yeah.
Why are you actually gonna go?
And then everything else is just like basic science Olympiad, science. We have like a local science trivia thing, so I did
You're
that.
so lost.
This is another internship I did at VT. This time it was for fluid dynamics in nature. So I made like a CAD for these models, and then I was also the founder of my climbing club. So I got like 2k in funding, and then finally I did FAST, but I didn't qualify. So I just talked about how many essays I wrote for my 15 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. He is cracked.
GT 2030.
Yes. Okay. That's my stats and ECs. What else do I have to say?
You gotta do your closing comments. You gotta talk about like what did you learn from this process?
Like advice?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Give me a second. Okay, so the biggest thing I'd say, like my takeaway is that like I want to say first and foremost that like you should always be, oh my gosh, sorry. You should always be enjoying what you're doing and like really actually passionate about the things that you're participating in, because you know, at the end of the day, like, sorry, I just check this out. So you don't want to waste your time like doing things that you don't enjoy only for college apps, because if you don't get the results that you were hoping for, like at the end of the day, like you still know that you like enjoyed everything that you did, you learned and grew from it, right? So that's like the first thing I would say. But then talking about college applications, I would say the biggest few things that helped me, I think first you need a narrative, right? So like you should have one or max two, because I think two gets kind of distracting. I think I actually had two, but like you should have like one or two biggest like spikes that you have that like are the focus of kind of what you spend your time doing, right? And so like for me it was comp research and environmental research, and then also like on like another side, right, activism in my community. And then for him it was obviously aerospace. He was really locked in aerospace, but like so for both of us we had like pretty distinct like spikes that we did that were like very like unique to us as well. And the second thing I'd say is that like I think what really helped me was I've always been like a really good like a big advocate for like summer camps, and so I like my sophomore year I applied to like 4 summer camps, 3 or 4, and I ended up going to the summer governor's school for Virginia, and this was a great opportunity for me. I think it was a great thing to do my sophomore year, like year summer, especially since it's a fully funded free program, and so that's like a great thing to put. And then my junior year, I think what really helped me, I applied to 8 different summer camps, and so it was like a mini application process for me, and kind of prepared me for the college application process. But
Oh, wait,
also
that's
like
smart. Yeah, that's
I
good. That's
I had
good.
like a lot of practice doing essays, but also I think SSP like was definitely something that showed colleges that I could handle rigor and like being in that kind of environment as well. So yeah, those are my things. Also like don't stress too much. I feel like
Or do a video on like how you do a narrative. Like how do you find your narrative? How did you find your narrative?
I think this is like, you know what, I might start a consulting business in like college applications. So like genuinely I have helped so many of my friends nowadays start their own narrative, because you really just need to like find like what your passion is and build from that, right? But like
It takes a while. It does take a while.
honestly, I'll leave my email in the description. If you guys are interested, hit me up and I will give one-on-one personalized advice for free for now. Oh yeah, my IG is also gonna be in the description. Just feel free. And then what else? Do you have any comments?
I think college process is a grind itself. Like if you thought junior year was bad, start of senior year it's rough. Just be prepared to like really lock in and do your essays. Or actually if you're gonna start over summer, commit to a few essays. Like
Yeah.
don't jump around like I did trying to figure out which one was easy. Just choose a couple and genuinely lock in for those ones.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I also would say like you have time. Like if you're listening to this right now and thinking like, oh my gosh, like I'm already a junior, like I have absolutely no time to build my resume, like now is the time. Like don't give up because like you don't think you have enough time. Unless it's November of your junior year and you're submitting your apps in a month, like you always have time to like create that new AC, like and just like focus on your spike. Don't be like don't be unfocused, but like definitely you always have time.
Yeah, like commit to the few ones that you really do care about. You don't
Yeah,
want to
yeah, yeah.
space out too much. And
I agree. Yeah. But yeah, that's my stats and ACs video. If you guys have any questions or need anything else, like let me know. Put them in the comments. Also, I actually might film like a choosing colleges video, because I definitely struggle with that. Like this entire month has been so stressful for me because I've been like, what the hell am I gonna do? Which one am I gonna choose? But like, if you guys want that as well, I can put that in another video. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and yeah.